Hello and welcome everyone to the Week in 7 Questions, today with Małgorzata Durska from Warsaw University. Małgorzata, why are Poland's women so angry at Jarosław Kaczyński?
I don't think they are angry. I think they are furious. Since 1993, we had in Poland one of the most restrictive abortion regulations in Europe. And now, in the middle of pandemic, the court introduces a near total abortion ban. The timing and the way it was introduced through the pseudo tribunal packed with Kaczynski supporters really outraged people.
But this is about more than abortion, isn't it? What about the rule of law?
I think the major trigger was general disrespect for women's rights and minority rights. And that's what put those young people on the streets. At the same time, this court ruling made us realize what the violation of the rule of law means in practice. Today, those protests are openly anti-government and anti-church as well.
Why were churches attacked and by whom?
Well, in Poland, we have over 11,000 Catholic parishes. There were 32 cases when the church's walls were painted with graffiti and Sunday masses were interrupted. Nothing was damaged in the churches. But look, people are really mad at the church and at the clergy. If the Polish Catholic Church openly supports the government and governing party, openly supports radical nationalists, at the same time brutally attacks LGBT community and other minority groups, and now thanks the government for the new abortion ban, then it may not pretend that it's not an active political player. And those are the consequences of that.
How divided are Poles about abortion?
Yes, Poland is divided. That's a very divisive issue. But at the same time, the recent polls are showing that the number of people with pro-choice attitudes is actually growing. The numbers vary depending on the polls from 30 to 60%. But when it comes to this recent court ruling, denying women the right to choice, even in cases of serious defects of fetus, this is over 90%. Over 90% of polls are against that.
And what should Poland's friends and partners do in the European Union, in your opinion?
I would ask them to look deeper into the current events in Poland and the dynamic of changes. Those things have not come from nowhere. Last year's institution after institution has been dismantled. And once you allow for this violation of the fundamental principles of the rule of law, then you open Pandora's box. And of course, EU may not interfere with abortion laws in Poland, but it may stay strongly for rebuilding the independent judiciary system here.
And where do you see this going? Protests petering out, protracted division, or a kind of orange revolution?
Politically, it's really hard to say. It seems that those protests will be dying out because of pandemic, but also because people are simply tired. Repressions, especially in small towns, intensified. We know that the protest organizers are putting together a political program. They work collectively on that, but it's too early to say what kind of impact it will have on political Polish scene. But culturally, it was a generational revolution. And I don't think that young people will give up on that. Too many taboos have been broken.
Małgorzata, since you're practically a neighbor of Kaczynski in your street, you must have been among the protesters a lot. What was the funniest poster that you saw?
Personally, I don't remember such an outburst of creativity. Very strong language, lots of references to poetry and novels and different kind of cultural texts. As you may know, the major slogan of those protests was, pardon my French, wypierdalać, which stands for get the fuck out. And an example of a poster, Roland, you would love that. I will give a birth to a leftist.
Thanks, Małgorzata. Wielkie dzięki, and see you all next week with another surprise guest.